So we're now going to talk about Laudamus Ter, the solo movement, which follows the Bone Voluntatis ending, which is so exultant and exciting with those trumpets and the whole choir building up to that wonderful climax. There couldn't really be a stronger contrast between that, the glory and majesty of that big choral writing and orchestral tutti, to the next movement. And there is a contrast that follows between, in the next few movements, the next sort of 4 or 5 movements between solo numbers and chorus numbers. The Laudamus Ter is kind of famous amongst instrumental players. It's one of those places where the leader of the orchestra earns their money. It's a rather tricky little solo, very virtuosic, very florid. You'll hear that in a second when I play the video from the 2012 Proms recording conducted by Harry Bickett that we've been gradually working our way through. And we've been talking about how Bach is treating the voice like an instrument. This is, in a way, even more true in the solo movements. He's kind of tougher on the soloists, expects even more virtuosity from them than he does the choir, and he expects pretty lot from the choir. So we've got this wonderful florid violin part with these very quick notes. For example, in bar 3. Which is kind of easy enough to play on the organ, not so easy to play on the violin, I can assure you. And then it's this wonderful kind of contrast between, as I was saying, the majesty and bigness of before, going to this very delicate texture. Just the solo violin, the string parts, 2 violin parts, viola and continuo with basses. So a fairly standard string texture. One thing which I find interesting is that Bach hardly writes any dynamics at all, but in bar 13 of this, he writes pianissimo for the orchestra, and it's partly because the singer is relatively low. This is the first time the singer comes in, but it also is a special, very kind of intimacy that he's calling for there, for at that point. And then the whole movement just goes on with this very dance-like, really kind of quite funky rhythm. He gives this offbeat, kind of jaunty sort of dancing thing, which both the violin solo and then the voice have. So it's very much a feeling of the duet between the solo violin and the voice. So have a listen to this now.